Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have a review of some comics. I don't just have one comic or comics to review, I have 3 bind-ups. These are all from the High Republic series from Star Wars from Marvel. These include the first 5 issues that are titled There Is No Fear, the second set of 5 issues, The Heart of Drengir, and then the third set of 5 issues, Jedi's End, which also includes a 2-issue miniseries by Charles Soule that is The Eye of the Storm. So I'm going to talk about all of those here in this video. Normally I review books individually. I review book by book by book. But these were short enough and also went together so well that I decided just to review them all in a single video. I picked these up because I had finished actually the book I was reading, and I had a day between when my copy of Trials of the Jedi would arrive. So I said, why not read these 3 comics? You know, they each take about an hour to read. So I decided to read these, and literally I was reading the last panel on the last page of this when my copy of Trials of the Jedi showed up. So it was perfect timing, perfect timing. So, for those of you who don't know, the High Republic is this huge publishing initiative that has been going on since early 2021, that has had 3 major phases of storytelling. And they've had adult novels, young adult novels, middle grade novels, some manga, some comics, and stuff like and short stories. And so I've been focused on the prose. I've reviewed all of the novels, and I've read most of the manga. Haven't been able to get my hands on all the manga yet, but most of the manga. But I'm not a comics reader. I'm just kind of recently getting into comics. It's just not my particular medium of reading books. But I saw these at the local used bookstore and thought, you know what, might as well pick them up. They weren't too expensive, and thought I'd see how they work. And the biggest praise I'll give these books is that they add a lot of context and a lot of visuals and a lot of world building for the High Republic era, because a lot of the High Republic storyline is very disparate. The stuff happening in the adult novels is separate from the stuff happening in the middle grade and the YA, and they intersect, and stuff happens, and it gets all kind of confusing. And I will admit, this sometimes, muddies the waters a bit, but what this series does really well, in particular, I would say, is that it does add a lot of context, and it does kind of tie things together if you've read everything else. And so I do feel rewarded for understanding everything better now, and almost kind of wish I had read these when they were coming out during Phase 1. All 3 of these, by the way, take place during Phase 1 of the High Republic. And so the story really focuses on 3 main characters. You have Keeve Trennis, who is like our main character, who's a newly minted Jedi Knight. And then you have her former master, Skier, who is still very much involved with stuff happening. And then you also have Avar Kriss, who's one of the main characters of the whole High Republic. And so the 3 of them really are the main characters of this line. I'd say Keeve is the primary character, but you see a lot of the other 2 as well. And in these comics, you see them having to deal with various threats that are popping up around the galaxy. First, they have to deal with the Drengir, which is just this very weird and new type of creature that they have to deal with. Then they're having to deal with the Nihil. And the Nihil is this new threat that has kind of been around, but they've never really had to deal with it seriously as the Jedi. Before, it was just like, raiding bands, which, of course, is part of the whole High Republic. And then by the end, not only are they dealing with the Nihil, but they're also dealing with this nameless terror. Of course, if you've read the novels, you know exactly what that nameless terror is. And also if you've read this comic, you know what it is too. So there's these 3 different villain groups that our main characters are having to fight against in this series. And that is my first point of complaint, is that the High Republic as a whole has way too many villains that it tried to deal with, and it has way too many types of weird creatures. You have the Nile, you have the Nameless, you have the Drengir, you have some other kind of smaller scale villains in some of the middle grade books and stuff. They really, really should have narrowed it down. I would have cut out the Drengir part of the story and replaced it with the Nameless in some way, refashioned it. That's what I would have done. But you do get to see visualization of the Drengir and visualization of the Nameless and visualization of the Nile here, which is really cool. If you've been following a lot of the Cavan Scott storylines, which are like in the audio scripts, Tempest Runner, Tempest Breaker, a lot of that makes a whole lot more sense, as does just some of the other stuff happening in the High Republic. And I'll just say that as a whole, I felt these were just fine. I didn't feel they were great comics. I didn't feel they were bad comics in any way. I just thought they were fine, like a 6 out of 10 for all of these. And, Keeve Trennis does a lot of things that are really annoying in this series, and that's what kind of brought it down. Was there's a lot of times where she makes a stupid mistake or something, or Skier makes a stupid mistake, or even Avar makes a stupid mistake. The three of them make a lot of stupid mistakes, and they keep making them. And there's no one that really is able to say, hey, you idiots, maybe you should stop making these same mistakes over and over again. And there is someone, Stellan Gios, in the third bind-up who actually kind of does that a little, but it was way too late in the storyline. They really should have realized their mistakes way earlier in this. And then also, not only that, but there was just some weird artwork in these where sometimes the character designs just changed when different artists would come in, or different pencilers or inkers or whatever. And so that part of it was a little bit weird. I didn't love that it was kind of changing throughout this. But still, it's still enjoyable. When it comes to the story, I think the story is pretty good. It's not on par with the best of the High Republic stuff, but it's better than some of the worst. It's kind of in the middle. But I do want to take a moment and talk about the Eye of the Storm miniseries at the end of this comic. It's just 2 issues, which you think 2 issues, that's really short. They were oversized issues. I don't know if they were exactly double the length of the standard issue for Star Wars comics, but they were significantly longer than the average Star Wars comics. So they were like oversized issues, we'll say. So 2 oversized issues for the Eye of Darkness storyline. And that by far was the best part of these comics, was the Eye of Darkness 2-issue by Charles Soule, which, by the way, it looks like that's going to have some heavy tie-ins to Trials of the Jedi. I opened Trials of the Jedi's open flap and read like the on the dust jacket, and was like, oh, that makes total sense that Charles Soule's going there, because he went there in this comic, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway, but the Eye of Darkness storyline was superb. That 2-issue comic was worth the read alone. Was it worth going through 15 issues of the whole series? Probably not. You could easily read the Eye of Darkness by itself, but especially if you've read the novels. If you read all the novels and then you go and read the Eye of Darkness 2-issue miniseries, so good. So good. Not only does it create some great understanding of Marchion Ro as a character, but it also creates some great world building and some great explanations to the High Republic series that we didn't have. And I wish I had read this way back when it came out, because it would have fit so much better. And so I thought that the whole 2-issue miniseries was just golden. It was just like a 9 out of 10 for me. It was great. But the rest of this series is like a 6 out of 10. It's fine. It's enjoyable. I think I would even use the word good. It's just not great. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's just not great. It's just, the rest of it is good. The great part of this is the 2-issue miniseries at the end. So, but as a whole, I still did enjoy reading this comics. They did tide me over till Trials of the Jedi. We're about to end. By the way, Trials of the Jedi, my review of that has already come out, I believe. So go check that out. I just am recording this one because I want to release that one first because it's the new release. But I'm recording this first, so I haven't read Trials yet. But when you see this, I've already read it, so go check that out. But I'm really excited to read Trials of the Jedi because Charles Soule, everything I've read from him has been very good. So if you've read these comics, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.